How you going there, Taekwondo legends? Welcome to TKD Performance Tips. I'm the K-Man, and you're probably wondering, why am I wearing an Italian hat? Why am I wearing this medal? Well, I've just come from Italy. I've just competed in the World Open Taekwondo Championships in Italy, Rimini, where fortunately, with a bit of sprinkle of luck and lots of dedicated training and effort, I happened to win the gold medal, hence the gold medal. And that's what I'm here today talking to you from. This time I'm in Hyde Park in London because I'm preparing for 1 week out from the Unified World Taekwondo Championships. And I'm going to give you a couple of little tips today on preparation for World Championships. And the coming up tips which I'll be filming will be lots of different training tips, things that I use that I've learned from great mentors and coaches such as my pattern coach Master Barner and my sparring coach Car Van Room, on things that can be helpful to help you become better at Taekwondo if you want to compete or if you just want to be really sharp for a grading. So let me take these little props off and put them aside. Let's get to work, shall we? So in a grading, or particularly in a competition, if you look at patterns, so look at patterns today for example, you only have one chance to make a first impression. And what you'd find is all the judges at the front and you're about to go out there against your opponent in a pattern competition, is that the judges are waiting to be, dazzled or they're waiting to be grabbed by your fantastic technique, and that's going to happen the first few seconds. So what's really important to have a huge impact at the start of your pattern. So one of the training techniques I use is I focus on that explosive start to grab the attention for the right reason of the judges. So I was taught once by a great pattern practitioner, probably one of the best I've ever seen, a World Cup champion called Mark Trotter. He said generally the judges will probably have their mind made up within the first 4 moves of who they think should win based on those first 4 moves, because in the first 4 moves you can tell who's really sharp and who's not. Now I understand there could be some where they're really tight, but a lot of the time in the first 4 moves you can go, wow, they have the X factor, or they have that crispness or that sharpness that separates them from the rest. So taking that into my training, I thought I'd focus on and give you the suggestion to focus on those first 4 moves. Because once you get those first 4 moves going and you're really at a high, that momentum should take you through the rest of the pattern. A lot of people take it, they take too long to warm up, or they start soft, and by the time they build up a bit of momentum to get sharp, the judges still remember that soft start. So I want you to start with a crispy start, not a soft, soggy start, for choice of better words. So this is the drill which I do, and I do this when I don't have a lot of time to train my patterns, but I want to go through all the patterns. What I basically do, I go through each pattern, but only the first 4 to 6 moves that I feel that I need to get that really sharpness, that I've got to be a bolt out of the starting line to grab the attention of the judges, so they now are looking for ways for me to win. We teach in first impressions that people will make a judgment on you within the first few seconds and spend the next few minutes trying to justify that judgment they made. So let's give them a fantastic opening to make that judgment, and then spend the rest of the pattern justifying their initial positive impression of you. So it might go something like that, like this, is where all you do, you don't need a lot of room because you're only doing the first 4 moves. So I do this in my living room. I may have the sport in the background. I just get up and I practice those first 4 moves. So if I'm doing Chung Ji, for example, I'll just focus on not on the whole pattern, just to start. And a lot of the time when people forget their patterns, will tend to be at the start when the pressure's high and they're thinking, oh my gosh, I hope this works out. So when you get started, you find that the moves will tend to leverage off each other. So if I'm doing Chung Ji, I'll focus on just getting that start nice and sharp and crisp. So I just relax, take a breath, and I just focus on the first 4 moves. And that's it. And I do that little routine 3 times each. And I go back and say, okay, let's try to sharpen that up, try to get that firing from the very first strike. So you relax, strike. So that first movement, the judges are waiting to be bedazzled, remember? Give them something to go, wow, and stop looking at the other person, and so they're looking at you for the right reasons. If I'm doing Dangun, I just focus on those first 4 moves. From there, I relax, put everything into those first 4 moves. Those first 4 moves. And I do that 3 times. Then I go to Dosam. Those first 4 moves, I relax, firing like a bullet out of a shotgun. They have bullets come out of shotguns. From here, see what I mean? So just focus on those first 4. I try to go to the first 4 moves and maybe the linking one before they change the direction. So after Dangun, up, and just stop there. Then you can, naturally you go into the spear finger strike. If it's Wanyo, and I go all the way up to my grade, depending on what grade you are, just work your way up. Do the first 4 to 6 moves, 3 times each, relax, think that the judges are waiting. They're waiting to be captured by your brilliance, by your sharpness and crispness. They're waiting to be convinced that they have to vote you when the flags go up. First 4 moves, no matter what it might be Wanyo. First 4 moves. And the kick. So practice that, and the great thing, you may just do it once or twice each. I like to do it 3 times each because I try to get better each time, and make sure that first movement just lights you on fire, that they can't help but watch your pattern and not the other person's, and give that such a great impression they spend the rest of the pattern trying to convince themselves of their first judgment of your first impression. Those first 4 moves will set the scene for the rest of the pattern and the rest of that contest between you and your opponent. So go and practice that and be sharp from the start. Don't leave it to the end. Don't play catch-up football. It's always better to be leading from the start, but also make sure you don't get complacent towards the end. Go and practice the first 4 to 6 moves of your pattern. Make that crispy sharp. That will build the momentum to the rest of the pattern and build the momentum so you will win gold in your division or in your world. Take one.